justice me.
Money in the way for what they got to say. I throw it up, it's falling down, it's definitely in the way.
Welcome back, guys. We're here for the third episode of the Sunday Shakedown with Shake and myself. Like we said before, if you're watching it, the easiest way to follow along is open up TradingView, open up a daily chart, and we're going to run through some charts, member ideas, some goals exceeded, some of Shake's ideas, some of mine, as well as the book of the week. So we're going to get started today. Joe DeFrank was the first one who emailed us, TMK through...
Oh, wait. Let's go through... let's do a little market recap first. So we start with that.
Okay.
So huge week in the indices. Market really exploded after the Fed decision to not cut rates, but pretty much say going forward they're looking to make rate cuts in July or whatever. And this was one of those weeks where you had to take advantage. So many charts went that you really had to take advantage this week, because this is one of the weeks where it was just everything went. We had about 10 or 12 names that absolutely exploded Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and they made it difficult this week because of the gaps in the indices, where the SPY gapped up so much that it was hard to make any money intraday if you're buying things. But if you came in swinging long, you were good. So it was very funny to see. It was either you bought Monday, Tuesday before the Fed, or then Wednesday from 2 to 4 is like when you had to buy, or else everything was taken away after that from gaps. It was just really interesting to see. It's like you really didn't have a lot of time to make decisions this week. It was like you had to be ready to pull the trigger.
That was the thing. Like even talking about like a lot of like the newer like non-members, just kind of getting their feedback of like what they were looking for, like what they wanted to hear, and it was like not one person that I spoke to had any idea of what they want to hear from the Fed. And even once they did hear whatever they thought was right, which was wrong, they didn't know what they wanted to do. And it was like, okay, so you're in for this announcement, but you're going to do nothing. It's like, okay, that makes no sense. So so for us, just like what you said, it was like all these names are setting up. You got to take advantage. But indice-wise, we took out new highs. We've been up, SPY up 8% in 2 weeks. Nasdaq's up 11%.
Oh, yeah. I think we're
so you gotta, you got to, but like we do every day, we buy through highs. We have stops at lows. So as long as we keep doing what we keep doing.
Be setup dependent. Don't. The SPY's going up, I have to buy something. It's like if my chart is triggering, if here's my game plan. It's like keep it simple. We talk about the indices so much, but really it's just individual charts is really what matters, and having a game plan to that. So just the simpler you keep it. If you kept it so simple this week, where you weren't worried about the Fed or anything like that, you had a great week because you just fucking bought things, and you clocked out all the noise. If you listen to the noise, you're probably gonna hesitate or something. And this was one of those weeks where it was a good, easy money week, and you don't get a lot of those, especially this year.
I was literally at the DMV at 2:00 reading a book. Did not care what the was doing. I'm like, doesn't matter. Stops are in. I don't care what they do. It's not going to matter.
Right.
And I'm freaking out like, what is it coming out? I'm like, it's not like, who cares? Like, the day goes on, but it is what it is. So
I'll bring up these charts. Let's recap some of the best names, because we were saying this last week was the week to buy. There aren't going to be as many setups going into this week, just on the nature of all the best names just broke out. What was it? I had a little list of things we killed. You killed your DXCM was insane. Probably the easiest 10-day trade I've seen. What'd you make of that? 25%?
Yeah, it was like 28 because I got stopped out. I had a 150. What was it? 153.89 stop. So I got stopped out today.
Yeah,
like right off the open. Like couldn't have asked for a better trade.
Yeah, that was absolutely money. This MedP we've been talking about forever, that finally went. This SRPT that was traded the week 2 weeks ago finally broke out of that base. It looks like it's going to continue on. I had a nice little pivot today. What we got trade of the week was this FIVN 5N. Made a nice move, pulled back a little bit towards the end of the week, but the weekly's still there, still looks good. These software names, I mean, they're just leaders. What else? OMCL, that was absolutely sick.
Oh God.
Yeah. I mean, that's an easy trade. You buy through 82, you can add through 84 if you want, and you're not getting these trades every single week. Is the thing I'm saying. And then when we get a good week out of the market, they all break out at once because they've all just been waiting around. And there's a few others. TUFN. Oh my God.
Oh,
I missed that one.
Yeah.
I thought that was at $25 right now. What a close. Yeah, but so what I was trying to get across, it's like last week was a good week to make money. There's a ton of things breaking out where, it's obviously hindsight where it's an easier week, but I wouldn't expect that same action next week.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. All right, you want to start going into stuff?
Yeah, we'll start. We got Joe DeFrank, TMK through pretty basically
$90, 89.
bucks. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really nice chart, top right. Once you could break through that 90, I mean, sold off all day today, but it set up still there through $90. Like that one a lot. That's good.
Yeah. We Carly B, he had Verizon.
Oh my God, it's so funny. I saw him put Verizon in, and I was like, oh, why are you wasting my time with Verizon? Then I typed up the chart. The chart is sick. The chart looks so good. It's got this, all the moving averages are so consolidated. What is this chart? There's a chart just like this we're looking at. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but it's a huge inflection point. All the moving averages are so consolidated, and it's so tight on the daily with a beautiful weekly level above it. And that's my favorite setup, where it's like a level before like a major macro level. Mm-hmm. So I mean, I haven't said this in a while, but I'm excited to buy Verizon next week.
Were you gonna say you want to buy a value name like blows my mind? But even me and Carl have been trading this name like all year. And we were buying, if you like zoom out, you can see like 55 was kind of a level. So we were buying up, pull back to 53, we'd buy at 55, we'd sell 58. And it's a name where like you get 3-4 points, like that's a big move in Horizon. Yeah. So as sick as this 58 level is, like 61's a really good one down the road. It's not going to really be that name like the biotechs or the tech names that we're going to get like 10 points a day. It's just not that name. It's just a name where you can get really heavy on tight risk. But you have to be realistic with what you're going to get. 2-3 points of Verizon is a big move. Not like, DXM where you get 25 points in a week. You have to just know, what name and what we can expect out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. But I like that one a lot. All right, go on.
He had MKC through 156. Yeah. This is a name we've been watching for a while. It just hasn't really got that follow through, but eventually that 156.
Yeah, that definitely looks good. I mean, it's a beautiful upper level flag. It might fail this flag and I'll pull back a little bit, but in time, I mean, if it holds up, it's kind of that inflection point. It's like 153 area it's got to hold. But it looks pretty good. Top right, can't be mad at that.
I feel like we get like a good shakeout, like 1 through 148, and like push everyone out, and then it gets like that sneaky one where everyone's like, forget this name, and then it goes.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, we want this to happen next week, and it's probably not going to be the case. The last one he had for his top three was EA 95 versus basically 90.
I love this EA chart. It's not our bread and butter. It's not a top right name at all, but this EA has been basing. It made this huge move in the beginning of February, and that was on what was that game? Apex, whatever the fuck the game was.
Like Ninja, I don't know, like Ninja game or something. I don't know.
It's like supposed to be the next Fortnite or whatever the fuck. I don't know. But whatever it was, Apex something. And that's when we started looking at it. That's when we're on our radar. And this chart proves our process of what it is. It's like this EA gets on our radar, and it got on our radar in the beginning of February. I hadn't traded it, or maybe I did, once or twice, but I was never excited about it or anything. And now it's finally setting up. Like I was thinking that it was going to be a short eventually because it's been trying to push up, and it just hasn't been able to. But then today's action was so telling, where it came down to that support level, like was dying to hold, had to hold. Huge volume, ripped up, and now it's at this major inflection point where it's trying to reclaim the 200-day moving average, 150, all the moving averages are right there. So now it's a major change of composure in the stock. It's going, if it can, break upside of all those moving averages and all these support areas, I think this one looks really good. And this one, it's like a longer term trade. It's not one of those 3-day trades. You gotta give this one the right room and try to really make, the $20-$30 out of it.
Yeah. I was gonna say the same thing where like this is kind of like a lot of the base buybacks that like I've been trying to buy, even kind of like the SLPT, even like DXM, where it's like when it's not top right and there's a lot of like overhead resistance, 100, 104, 108, 110, 24, back up to highs. Like that's such a big move, like a 50% move. But if you look at names, even like Bob and Apple, like they eventually get that big move back to highs. Like think like beginning of the year in Baba, like it took 5 months for it to really move 50 points. And that's like you said, like if you're light enough in it, you can kind of buy it right once or twice, kind of set your stop and kind of just your life. you can really catch those big moves, but you're not going to catch that move in a week or 2 weeks. It's going to take months, quarter, 4 or 5 months when it's kind of in that middle range or like lower end range if it's, it's daily chart.
And a good point you brought up about Baba. And if you're looking at the 5-minute chart on Baba, this whole move up, you're not catching it. You got to keep wide stops. You can't even look at the everyday action. It's like you have to trade this thing based on a weekly chart for that type of trade to really catch the move. And that's something I'm probably in my active accounts, like I'm probably not going to catch that move. That's why I have the long-term account where it's like I'm more idea based. So maybe I'll buy EA in that account and try to catch the big move versus, catching a heavy active account and, just like day trading the fuck out of it. It's not one of those setups.
Yeah. Even like for me and Baba, like I literally bought Baba December 28th, like 136, like best price, first 130. And like I sold 167, and that was like beginning of February. So I still missed like that second leg of the move.
Yeah,
that was like a good lesson where it was like when you get those really good prices, you gotta kind of be patient. That was like with DXM. I'm like, I know this name's gonna want to retest those highs. Like I gotta wait until it pushes through. And like even our last talk, you're like, that top's probably too tight, and I did pull it back a little bit. And I'm like, okay, let me see it push through highs. It didn't. Doge hit highs like now. Like I saw everything I wanted to see. Move on, and let's just go to the next thing.
Yeah, I mean, and sometimes if you get 25% fucking 10 days, you got to lock that in.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are you gonna be in the trade another 3 months to get that extra 10%? It's like it was a gift.
There was a quick little story. I was with Sparrow this week. We got lunch, and his buddy, I call him Dr. Oncology. He works in the cancer center, and he's like makes $400,000 a year, but he's like a gambler, and he caught one of the biotechs. ARY. He had it for years. He was trading around, buying at 3, selling it at 6, doing all this stuff. He ends up buying like a bunch in like the 20s and then catches the buyout. Luckily, he had no idea it was going to happen, but catches the buyout.
Like 250% or whatever?
Yeah. So one of our guys, I can't think of it, who bought it through 24, made pretty much the same percent he did, but he bought it just through the trade. So the doctor's like, tell me all this stuff about the trade. And I'm like, dude, Pfizer's buying them at $40 a share. Like it's over. The deal's it's done. Like they didn't sign the paperwork, but it's not going to trade above that. He's like, no, it's going to go to 100. I'm like, oh my God, dude, you don't know, like you don't understand like what a buyout is.
You won this one.
Yeah,
you won this one. What are you doing?
So like the whole week he's holding it. He's like, dude, it's gonna break 48. I'm like, dude, I'll bet you like my life it will never see a penny above 48. Like it's just not gonna happen. He had like 5,000 shares. And like finally, like yesterday, he's like, I put a limit sell like 46.80. I'm like, yo, you're up 300%. Like, what's the difference between 300 and 302? Like,
so funny.
Yeah.
So funny.
And like this guy's
like
like
closed at 46.20. He probably didn't sell it.
No, but this is a perfect example. Like licensed doctor, he's like sending me this like paragraph story of like what it's gonna do.
Yeah,
like,
pharmaceuticals.
Yeah, like Pfizer's buying them. Like the deal's done. Like just sell it and move on. But funny little story from this week. We had Jason, SERV, 54.5, earnings flag.
Yeah, makes sense. It doesn't look like that one's ready yet, but that's one it'll probably sneak up on you and just volume come through out of nowhere. It reminds me of CSII from this week. I didn't catch this trade because the flag wore me out. It just kept flagging. I didn't expect it. I was like away from the desk when it triggered, and it went and it ripped $6 in 2 days. What is that? 12-15%. I could see that type of move happening if it gets the volume and just wears people out and then just absolutely rips.
Yep. We got JJ Wickman, ALY 30.
You say LLY, Ally Financial?
Yes, Ally Financial.
Yeah. All these charts are the same. It's so funny. Yeah, it's a good chart. Flag at highs, financial name. So it's like, a move from 30 to 32.50 would be like a great trade in that name.
Yeah. And then we also have SPSC through 110.
Wow.
And Andy also likes this one too.
Damn, that's actually sick. This name is really thin and really hard to trade because of how thin it is. It only does like 200,000 or 300,000 a day. I traded this first in this earnings flag, and man, I got too heavy and it just spread down on me so fast, and I was like, oh no, what am I doing? But I've been waiting for this name. It had this huge earnings day in the beginning of February. Then it had another one, very similar day on April 26th, where it looked like it was going to break out of this flag and then didn't and just kind of squatted back onto the level. And now it's just flagging, and now under that 110 looks amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, you'll definitely see this in the shakedown, for sure.
Nice. Next, we got Eddie. One of his name is Cisco. This is kind of like a Verizon kind of Intel.
Would say Cisco?
Yeah, Cisco 58. I mean, it's more like a value name. This really isn't like your bread and butter. Again, Cisco, super boring name, just like a Verizon, just like an Intel. You know, really hard to really buy like the breakout in this. Like, and you can see today, flushes, ticks 58, it's right back, wide range. I got an $8 range in Cisco. Like, you got to really give this name some time to really like flag out and consolidate.
It needs weeks and weeks to get tight. If you look at the action the past 10 days, where it's like it was at 52, then it ran to 57, then it pulled back to 54. It's just really wide and loose right now. We need to see a few weeks of just tight action to give any sort of decent entry. Because right now it's just you have to buy it and keep it wide, and Cisco is just not a name you want to do that.
That's even like if you zoom back a little bit, you go back to, pretty much like we were buying Cisco 46 like all year, taking those like couple of trades. And that was a whole year it consolidated from, 40 to 46. Like an entire year was in that range where like you kind of have, even though it's higher now, so we can expect kind of shorter consolidations as it gets higher, but it's still going to need time. It's not going to go in a couple of days.
Yeah, absolutely.
MCD was another one, 206.
McDonald's?
Yep. The Big Mac.
I mean, it's a strong name. It's just I get why they're sending the setup in. It's like top right name. It's somewhat of a daily flag, but that would be a Mickey Mouse flag in the Bennett Zamani world of doing things. It's just the last buy in McDonald's it really had was this 190 when it broke out as massive flag, and then you could make the case for 200 because it was an earnings flag. Yeah. But it's still. I mean, it's just been on a massive run this year. It just really needs like a long time to set up again.
Yeah. A lot of these like Dow 30 names, they're starting to remind me a lot of like Caterpillar, like back in 2017, where like I was in that thing for like 6 months and we were buying under 100 and I eventually like sold like 140-ish. And then like it had that crazy run from 140 to 170, like in a straight line up where it was just like kind of in like these McDonald's, like, yes, they're Mickey Mouse flags. Like I'm not too thrilled to buy them either. But it's like as they kind of keep drifting higher and they consolidate less, like they sometimes still get those kind of like that follow through. And like we kind of saw that a little bit in like in PG where like it's really, I've been in PG for like, months now. And it's just like slowly grinding higher. It's slowly grinding higher. It's like finding a level of support. And then like, but it's just still trending. It hasn't really had like a real like parabolic move or like a really hard move to say like the move's over.
Right.
But
so it's a good name to be in, but it's tough to initiate now.
Yeah,
it's like a great name to be in, but it's like how can I buy it up here?
And then the last one on Eddie's list was LH 170 versus 168. Seems like 168 kind of wants to buy.
That 168 is definitely a level you want to buy. What did you want to buy? 170?
You want to buy 170 versus 168.
Yeah, I mean it'd be better. You just got to give that to 166, but it definitely makes sense. I mean, if it comes down to 168, that's the breakout level. That's like you want to see it show support there, and you can look for a support bot, like a support turns resistance turn support type entry. So I'd look to buy at that 168. But if it crossed that 166 to the downside, then you're in some trouble. So those are the two areas I'd watch, I'd say.
And then we have Chris's main idea is going to be Elon 34.
I mean,
his 18-day streak finally ended. What was it? I think yesterday he made $7 grand so far. So
nice streak.
Yeah.
This Elon is. We were just talking about end of the day in Alpha Chat. It's the highest close it's had since December 3rd, 2018. We started trying to buy this name January, February, March 18th, 19th at this 34 level, and we've been in and out of the name. This 34 level is just such a massive base. Recent IPO. Let's give you an entry. Like this is a really nice looking chart. These are the type of charts you want to focus on. So I'll definitely be buying this 34 next week, no question.
Nice. All right, that was most of the members' ideas for the week. You want to jump into a good trade, bad trade?
Oh yeah. So my bad trade wasn't really a bad trade. It was more like a poor execution. So this PD was like I fucking killed this thing 2 weeks ago. My entry I bought on the big day, June 12th. So I bought 51, and then it was verse 49, and then when you get that type of big breakout, you just move your stop to lower day. So I had $1 risk. So then Monday it explodes higher. Let me get a 5-minute chart so I can see it. So it explodes higher Monday towards that 60, and I had an offer to sell like pretty much like half of my stock. I'm over 10-1 now, or I'm about to get 10-1 risk reward.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh, once it breaks the 60, like, payday, it spreads up to 59.90 and just fucking flushes. So now I have about a 2-second opportunity to just down tick 59. And I'm like, no, I want to sell above 60. Don't get to sell any. It fucking sells off all day and just like rips lower. And it's one of those thin names where you don't really have an opportunity. Like if you miss that 1-second opportunity, you're smoked. So, and then luckily the next day I got a bounce to 57, and that's where I took off everything. So I still got like 6-1 risk reward. I still booked a ton, but because I hesitated those 2 seconds, it completely fucked up the trade for me. I was like, the whole rest of the day I was trying to sell this, I was looking at every gyration, every gyration meant so much more because I missed that first opportunity. What was the best trade this week? This SRPT finally going was such a great thing. It's so funny. And shouts out to the TE app. I was at the dog park and I get the alert. SRPT is crossing 125. And I'm like, oh, are you kidding me? Like, I don't want to buy this thing right now. And 2 seconds later, I get the SRPT is crossing 125.50. I'm like, oh, fuck. I just mark it by like a shitload and just give it to the low of the day. And then it gave us that move. And then we got stopped out a little bit, but I still got a chunk. It looks so good long term. And this is one of those that's like long term. I really think this name's gonna set up for this 150 level and stuff. So I think if you're in it, just try to stay in it.
Yeah, I was in this too. I actually took it all off, but this was like I bought 125 when it was the first trade of the week, and then a couple of the guys kind of it was like bearish engulfing that first day, second day pulled back, and this was kind of a name where it was like instead of taking that loss the first day, you kind of just give it the right room, like. We know what that was, even though it was much farther than we had to give it to, and then it sets back up. And now like you said, there's like a 150 level we can still buy. I feel like this 136 we're going to be buying in some time. And like just for me, it was like when I added again that day, that the second time went through, I just low day stopping it, and like I just got stopped up through 132. And then now it's like I have no problem like buying it back through 136 if I can buy it back. Like I have no problem like kind of getting back into it because I got like that first kind of trade out of the way. So I'm not in it, but I'll be getting back in. Bad trade is Tiffany, and this is kind of like that. What I see like EA like at that same spot where like we've been buying Tiffany 96 for back to 2017. So I got my kind of first feeler yesterday, and then today just bearish engulfing all right off the open. And this is kind of reminding me like SRPT where yes, I was wrong day one. But I'm not going to like be too tight with it or overwatch. I'm going to give it some time. I already have a bias up in to buy again through 96. It might take a week, might take 2 weeks, but I'm not going to just hit out for a loss when in a week or two I'm going to be buying it back again anyways. So that was, this was probably the one trade this week that really didn't work immediately. And then again, DXM, we kind of went over it. That was definitely best trade. I think some improvements I made, like I really messed up that ANET trade a few months back. That was kind of like a round trip where I kind of got stuck in it, and I just sold it too early just to kind of get out because I was just too heavy in it, and I missed that like real second leg. Like I sold like 270 and then it goes to 330, and it was purely just psychological that I sold. So kind of with this, when it was that same, the name gets smoked, it bases out and it heads back to highs. It was like, okay, I got to let this thing at least try that retest that high. It doji at highs. I'm like, okay, I have no problem really upping the stop, very aggressive, take the gains, move on. I can still buy 155 months from now if it sets up. If not, I can care less about the name and I can kind of move on. So those were, I guess, my good and bad trade for the week. Do you want to jump into some of your shakedown ideas?
I haven't done a full deep dive yet, but a couple things we're looking at. I love that Elan, E-L-A-N. I really like that EA too. And then no one mentioned FIVE, F-I-V-E. So people were looking at this last week, and for that 134, 135 level, I didn't really think it was ready yet, and then it gave a nice little shakeout. So I've been in this thing I bought 123 on earnings day versus 120, but it was just a feeler, no real size. So it's like I haven't been like aggressive with the name, or I haven't been over looking to trade it or anything like that, but because it hasn't been a good entry. Besides that first one I had, which was the entry that little did I know, but now it's finally setting up again, and above This 132 through 134 area is the nice little resistance area. And it's just been such an important area for the name, important resistance level. I think this one's pretty ready next week, if unless we see some shit with the market. But otherwise, yeah, I think that one looks good. And then did someone mention this PCRX yet? I think we were just talking about it in the chat. So this PCRX, if you look on a weekly chart, it's just a absolutely massive base, this below 50, 55 area. And then the daily charts kind of give me first entry through 45. Remember I was saying before, my favorite setup is when a daily chart's give you an entry before a macro level. Because buying the macro level is going to be difficult. There's going to be a lot of shakeouts. You're going to have to keep it too wide. So if I can be in the name already when it's approaching that level, I have much better odds of catching the entire move. So that's why I'm looking at this PCRX 45.
Nice.
Yeah.
So a few things on my radar. I mean, sector-wise, really tough to buy anything, but financials are kind of setting up. BFH 69, you can kind of see has been like a little area. Again, I'm just looking through all the sectors, and this is really the only one that I would be enthusiastic to kind of add to. Everything else just super extended. Again, saw a few financial names in some of the members' ideas. Goldman Sachs, another one that's been basing on there like this 200, 210 level that I've been kind of picking some up in the low 190s, and I'll be adding again through 200. Buyout, again, was big picture idea of the week. Still not ready. I picked some up through 55. I'll still be adding again through 55 whenever it wants to go. This blue in time, it's kind of like that base buyback to 128.
I was looking at this blue. I think I got to do a really deep dive into the biotechs this weekend. Towards the close on Friday, everyone was talking about how strong the biotechs look. So, and if you look up the IBB, it's had a nice little run. It looks like it continued a little bit. So I think biotechs, we gotta find some good looking biotechs. So that blue makes sense.
Yeah, I picked up a little IBB last week through 105. So
there you go.
So yeah, the blue, GWPH, that was Higgins. Everyone's kind of been hawking that name through 180.
Oh yeah, that's one I really like too. 180.
Yeah. There's GWW through 280. This is kind of one of those like base buybacks. You can see, all 2018, this 280, 260 has been kind of like a support area. And you have those higher levels like 320. We actually bought 360 back in September. We were trying to buy that 360 break, and I really got a break even, and then like it got destroyed like days after. So I was very lucky on that stop. This MYOK 50.
Yeah. Is that setting up? Oh, that's pretty nice.
Yeah, so it's same thing. It's kind of like if you zoom out, back to 2017, that's kind of been like a spot. So it's a little spot.
Yeah, no, I like that. I like this name a lot. Remember this name? It gave us the sickest. Which one was it? It was giving us trouble in a base. I think it was base.
It was July.
Last June, July.
July like 2nd.
Yeah, and then it went on the pretty sick run.
Yeah, and then we bought it again in September through that 62. We bought it twice. We bought that first pop, and then we bought the buyback.
Oh yeah.
Stopped out 64.
But through $50, that looks great. That looks great. It sets up.
Yeah, that's the same. That one. Again, we talk about Via on this Sky W. Again, nowhere near going to happen next week, but that 61 and 62 I've been keeping an eye on.
Yeah.
But again, not happening anytime soon.
Yeah, no, that one's sold off. BOLD is another one. Bold. That's one we've been waiting on. It's just kind of so. I was going to say it's similar to SMAR, the way it's kind of flagging above the level, but that SMAR is way more of a high beta name.
Yeah.
But this bold looks really good through 41.25, 42 area, just a massive level. Just working on it forever. I could see it being one of those that like, oh fuck, where'd all this volume come from? And it fucking rips again, Just the fact that it's like a therapeutic name. So I'll definitely have my eyes on that one.
Nice. All right. I think we covered all the ideas for the week. We can jump into some of the member goals. We have, Adam Rav starting to average about 100K a day on Amazon, which is great. I think when he first came to us like 2 years ago, he was doing about 50K a year, or 50K a day. I'm sorry. So he's pretty much doubled up. We had this sibling comedy, Gina and Carl, both with $1,000 days. It's awesome seeing the big brother little sister battle go on. Again, we talked about Chris's streak. Unfortunately, finally ended 18 of 19 green days, made about 7K more than his 9 to 5 salary. One of our new guys, Mike Matt, again, guy's got a pretty big account, but young guy, super smart, made like 7,000 the first day. And again, it was right off the app. He's like, I was a little hesitant. and he caught it was SRPT this week with us, and he's like,
I'm at it. Thank God for the app, yeah.
he like sent the DM of like his screen share, he's up 6K, and he's like, now I know you guys are real. I'm like, I'm glad we.
Now you do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And then Cedric had his first 15% gain. Zachary Adams had overall 10% gain this month. And then Connor Crawford was in DXing with me. I believe he made about 20%. So we had some solid goals this week all around. And then book of the week, we got Raving Fans. Super easy. It's maybe 130 pages, like one chapter. I read it in like 2 days. If you're running a business or interact in any way, running customer service, super easy book.
Pitbull, my book of the week. Oh, I got one. Marty Schwartz, legendary trader, absolute legend. He was a champion trader. He was a floor trader back in the 90s. This guy used to charge. You know how hedge funds charge 2 and 20%? Mm-hmm. Please. Hedge funds charge 2 and 20. He was charging 4 and 40. Yeah. Get off.
I'm gonna have to order that.
He was a beast, and it was all Saudi Prince money, and yeah, he was really stressed out. I don't know if it was a good decision, but yeah, great book.
All right. So next,
that's it. Oh shit. Okay.
Hello.
Perfect. Nice little sesh.
All right. See you next week.
Until next time. See ya.